Hello everyone, a very good afternoon. Thank you for joining the webinar today on time. We are a little bit early. Let's wait for a few more minutes before the session starts. My name is Jin Liang and I'll be your trainer for today. So I hope everyone can see me and hear me well. If you can see my slides also, can you please let me know in the Q&A? Maybe you can type a yes or you can type 1 just to let me know that you can see me and you can hear me well and also to see the slides clearly. All right, thank you, Carlos. Thanks for confirming that you can see me and you can see the slides too and you can hear me well. Thank you very much. All right, for those of you who joined earlier, so just in case there's any questions that you would like to find out, you can put into the Q&A box now as well. And also I know during the registration page, I actually asked whether or not you have any questions. So I pulled out the data this morning. So if you just registered maybe like a couple of hours ago, I may have missed out your questions that you put in during the registration. So if that's the case, right, I would really appreciate if you can type it into the Q&A box so that I can address it at the end of the session. Afternoon and warm welcome to everyone. My name is Jun Liang and I'm the senior trainer here in Amazon Seller Education team, which is a part of Amazon Global Selling. So Sean later will be joining us as well during the Q&A, and then we will be able to address any questions that you have. So let's head right through in. Now, I just want to share with everyone before we begin, the recording will be shared to everyone after the session as well. So there's going to be the recording that's recorded for today's session at our official YouTube channel. And also, if you have any questions, do feel free to put in a Q&A. And then last but not least, just to make sure that if you are watching this recording maybe a couple of months down the road, you may want to always refer back to the online resources such as the Sellers University or Seller Central Help for the latest updated information. So especially for things such as policy related or changes to any feature on Seller Central, etc. All right, so this is just some important notice. You can take a quick break for about a few seconds. All right, this is the agenda that we will be covering today. All right, to start off quickly, right? First one is regarding about introduction to FBA. Now, what is cross-border fulfillment? So in short, right, I believe everybody knows, so I'm not going to go through too much detail on this. So in short, cross-border fulfillment is just about fulfillment across international logistics. So it refers to the process, as you can see over here. Let me just pull up a pen. So you can see as a seller over here, that means, having to ship your product domestically and then through the domestic warehouse and then up to the different destination country and then via the different shipping methods and then reaching the destination warehouse, etc. And then how is it being fulfilled to your shoppers at the end of it. So this is basically the gist of cross-border fulfillment. So this kind of illustrate the basic process that the cross-border fulfillment will go through right from the sellers like yourself and it reaches the buyer, which is your customers. Right. So unlike domestic delivery where you are delivering in your own country, so cross-border fulfillment are usually longer, there are more stages and the process is more complicated as you can see. So there are two common cross-border fulfillment methods. Now first one is FBA, the fulfillment by Amazon, and the other one is self-fulfillment. So we also call it MFN, which means Merchant Fulfilled Network or fulfillment by merchant. Okay, FBM, meaning that you are doing the fulfillment yourself on your end without leveraging on the FBA services from Amazon. All right, so you can see the difference between these two. All right, so the first one you can see sales fulfilled by Amazon. All right, there's a part about first mile logistic. All right, and then reaching the FBA warehouse, And then on the last mile delivery, whereby Amazon will fulfill your products to deliver to your customers. All right. So for the one below, which is fulfilled by sellers yourself, so meaning that you will send and fulfill the product to your customers yourself. That means you got to do your own shipping. You're going to buy your own shipping, whichever carrier, or you can use some other third-party carrier shipping, and then ultimately that will reaches the customers. All right. So we talk more about the FBA part. All right, so the FBA fulfillment by Amazon actually means the seller, like yourself, will send the product in bulk to a Amazon fulfillment center. So in our case here, we are talking about more on selling to the US, the North America. So it will be sending to the Amazon fulfillment center in the US. All right, and then from then on, Amazon will assume the responsibility for storing the product. So let's say if your customers bought your product on Amazon.com, so Amazon will be the one that pick and package and ship the order to your customers. All right. And then there will be other services that FBA will provide is that if there's any questions from your customers, so they will be able to address some of these customer inquiries for you as well. And if there's any returns, they will be able to handle all the returns from on your behalf as well. So you actually save on your any additional manpower or resources you might need in order to handle all these kind of additional I would say inquiries from your customers. All right, so you can see basically the orange part, it means this is the first mile logistics, and then FBA, which is the part where it reaches the fulfillment center. This is the part where FBA will be the one handling this portion once it reaches the fulfillment center, right? Right until the end where they pick and pack the item and then deliver to your customers and also provide the support that I was sharing earlier on, customer service or handling return, etc. All right. So you must be wondering what about the first mile over here, the orange portion, the first mile logistic, right? So this is something that can be handled by a third party carrier. In the later part, I will share. So there is another service what we call Amazon Global Logistic. That is something that can handle the first mile. Alternatively, you can also engage your own logistic provider to actually handle the first mile delivery for you, such that your goods actually reach the Amazon fulfillment center. Well, let's talk about what are the benefits and advantages. Now, first of all, you do get faster shipping to your customers. So FBA products are eligible for what we call the Amazon Prime free 2-day or 1-day shipping. So buyers can choose such free shipping options on the eligible orders. And again, with the FBA service, there is a 24/7 customer service provided in the local language. So they will be able to help answer those questions that your customer might have in their local languages and also handle things like returns and refunds, etc. on your behalf. So FBA also help to increase your product discovery and the chances of being able to increase the discoverability also help the higher conversions. So last but not least, the 4 benefits are these. You also be eligible for some of the shipping discounts that will help to reduce your logistic costs. This is something I will go through in the next few slides as well. All right. So I think we are all very interested to know what are the charges. So basically, the basic cost of using FBA will consist of the storage fees and the fulfillment fees. All right, there will be other, kind of optional paid services available to help seller reduce operational pressure. So there are some other additional services such as labeling, etc. So those are optional. So the key fees will be the storage fee plus the fulfillment fee. That will be your final SBA fees that that will have to be paid to Amazon to actually use the FBA services. All right. So do know that depending on the product, the category, and the weight, etc., there will be different fees for the different marketplaces. But don't worry, there's actually what we call a FBA revenue calculator that you can use to find out what is the cost. You can use it to estimate your fulfillment fee. So also compare, in terms of you fulfilling the product yourself versus using FBA to fulfill. What is the cost difference? Right. So in Seller Central, you can search for FBA revenue calculator, or you can actually go and search for it. All right. So I'm going to show a quick demo on this since we have some time. All right. Give me a few minutes while I pull up my browser. All right. Okay. So I just share my browser. So let me know if you cannot see. So this is my test account. All right. So to go to FBA revenue calculator, you can just search for it on Google. Just search for FBA revenue calculator. Usually it's going to be the first one, or you can go to the search bar in the Seller Central. You can go to the Google. So if you go via Google, right, it'll prompt you whether you want to sign in or you want to continue as a guest. So don't worry, if you do not have an account. So the only difference is probably you might to factor in as a guest, you might see some additional costs over there, because if you're not logged in, right, it may determine you as an individual seller. So there is a per item fee that will be included. All right. So let's say you are in this revenue calculator, right? You're gonna do just search for any product. So for demo purposes, let's say if you are selling some product that is already, your competitors are selling something like this. I'm gonna make it easy. I just search for, maybe I want to sell bottle. All these things related will pop up, like all these flowers, etc., which is related to bottle. And then do remember to search for the right store, right? So we are doing US. Okay, let's say example, I want to, maybe this is the item that I think I want to sell. All right. So as a quick guide, right, it will actually populate all these items, or all this pricing info for you, assuming you want to sell a similar product like this and you do not know the package dimension. As a quick guide, you can just select the item that is most related to what you want to sell, and then it will give an item price, etc. over here. You can start to edit. All right, so assuming I want to sell this at $30. All right, these are all in USD. All right, and then they will show you, okay, what is the Amazon fee? This is the referral fee for selling the item. All right, so if you click on the exclamation, it will give you more information on how they calculate the fee, etc. So depending on the product category, it ranges from about around 12 or to 15%. All right, that depends on what product category you're selling. All right, and then there is a fixed closing fee, etc. So like I mentioned, if you are logging as a guest, you might see 99 cents over here for each item. All right, and then this is the fulfillment cost. And then if you click on the exclamation, it will also share with you how the cost is being calculated based on the dimension, etc., the shipping weight pre-populated based on this item. All right. So the additional service I was sharing earlier on is, all these other information such as labeling, taping, bagging, etc. Right. If you do plan to use these services, you can also select on it, right? So let's keep it simple. All right, and your shipping costs to Amazon, let's say, how much does it cost for you to ship this one item to the Amazon fulfillment center? All right, this is something you might want to do your own calculation on your end, because I know usually it's shipped in bulk, right? So, to make an accurate representation, you might need to use your bulk shipping cost and divide it by how many items you are shipping over to, all right? I'm just gonna make a simplified example to show you how you can use this. And then you will also be able to see what's the storage cost. All right. The storage cost will depend on whether is it January to September or October to December. So I think October to December is usually the peak season, so the storage cost is a little bit higher. All right, then this one to simplify things, you can just put 1 and 1. All right. And then over here is probably your cost of your goods, how much you're getting that item for. So I'm just going to make it 10 to simplify things. And then if you have any other miscellaneous costs that you are having, you can put it here. Maybe you engage other provider to do labeling, etc. You can also maybe put it here, all right? Maybe like 50 cents or something. So at the end of it, right? So estimated sales, we just put like assuming we sold 1. So it will show you what is the cost per unit, all right, and then what is your net profit and what is your profit margin. All right, that is for using FBA. So on the middle column, you can see this is your fulfillment. All right, so you can do your own comparison. All right, if you're doing your own fulfillment, let's say you do not want to use FBA, you can also use your own fulfillment methods. Then you will have to put in all this information based on your own fulfillment method charges, and then put it down here, all these informations that you will probably have, and then you can do a quick comparison between, what is the different net profit you might get by using FBA versus using your own fulfillment methods. All right. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my slides. Okay, I hope that gives you a clear, guide on how you can use the FBA revenue calculator to help you do a very quick top level analysis on how much it's going to cost if you want to sell certain items on Amazon using FBA. Okay, so there is also a link I will also share on the video description when I upload the video, a more guided process on the steps that you need to do for the FBA process. You can also learn it on Seller Central under the Seller University guide. All right, so far so good. I hope everyone is still with me. So if you have any question, feel free to put into the Q&A box. Right, moving on, we'll talk about the discounts that I was sharing earlier on. This is what we call the FBA New Selection Program. It is part of the New Seller Incentive Program. All right. So for seller who are a professional, who are having a professional selling account, and then is registered after the March, or rather have a first viable ASIN on March 1st this year, will be enrolled into what we call the New Seller Incentive Program, or NSI. So under this program, right, there is a couple of the benefits that the new seller can enjoy. So to be eligible for this new seller incentive program, these are the different tasks that the seller will need to do. First of all, the task one is the seller will need to be enrolled in the Amazon brand registry within 6 months. So there will be other benefits that comes with it. There's a 5% bonus on up to 1 million in eligible branded sales in the first year. You also get $200 USD in credits to utilize the Vine program. So Vine is like a review programs whereby customers will be able to receive your products, and then they'll be able to give a review on your products. All right, it's a Amazon review management tool. All right, and then there's also other benefits over here. All right, so the second task is you have to ship your inventory to Amazon Fulfillment Center within 12 months. All right, and for this, right, some of the discount you will get is up to $200 USD in credit for inbound shipping, which will also automatically enroll you in the FBA new selection. Right, so these are the details over here. I will also share the link. So there's quite a lot of benefits, which I will only share the key benefits here. You can also go through it after this as well. All right. So the third task is you got to use the Amazon coupons within 12 months. So by doing so, you also get $50 in credits that you can use for creating your coupons. So why it is so is for those who are not aware, for every coupons that you are creating, for every coupons that your customer use, there's a 60 cents USD fee to leverage the coupon. So which is why there is a credit that will help you to offset that amount as well. So don't worry if you think that you're gonna get, confused and lost on where are all these information. So there is a report that you can run to help you keep track of all these benefits that you'll be getting to ensure that you do get the so-called the new seller incentive by running the reports. All right, you can see what is the details, etc. that you can get. All right. So the FBA new selection program. So this is what I was sharing earlier on. So you enjoy some of the benefits such as free storage, free removal, free returns processing, etc. Now these are the different what we call the benefits. All right, for the storage fee, there's 4 months of free storage. All right, for those in this category, so you can see it depends on which categories, right? Right, clothing, accessories, shoes, and bags category product group, right? You'll get up to 4 months of free storage, and then free removals up to 6 months for the 100 unit per ASIN, right? So I will share the link after this as well, so you can take a look, huh? Right, these are the eligibility. So it is pretty similar to what I was sharing earlier on. To be eligible for all these discounts, right? You need to be a FBA seller, and then your inventory performance index has to be about 400 or higher, right? These are something that you can view on your Seller Central. You do not really have to calculate yourself, all right? So this is what I was sharing. There's what we call the FBA new selection dashboard over here. You can find out what are all the different benefits that you are eligible for. So one thing I want to share also, there is this FBA Small and Light program that is for item which is smaller in size and weight will have a lower cost for the FBA fees. So for the eligibility, maybe we focus on the selling on the US, all right? So the size has to be within equal or less than the dimension over here, and the selling price has to be less or equal $10 USD. All right, so you enjoy lower shipping costs, and you have the Prime badge. All right, all this will help to be more visible and prominent for your seller to really consider the products. All right, so the third section we're going to talk about is the inventory management. Okay, so this is basically to share that you might need to do your inventory planning. So because there are storage volume limits over here, you can see over here, it's a little bit small. Let me zoom in for you. Also, you don't have to remember because you can see these dashboards in your Seller Central as well. All right. The key thing I want to share with everyone is about the storage limit. It is based on the volume or in cubic feet. For example, for the US, for seller who are selling US, right? The individual account, let's say if you are using the individual account where there's no monthly subscription fee, so the storage limit is 10 cubic feet. All right, and then the value will not change. So there is no way to increase the storage limit if you are under the individual selling account for individual plan. All right. So for professional selling account, you may have a storage limit based on the following. All right. These are the requirements on whether or not you have maintain a good IPI index, right? The threshold, whether you're above or either. So that will actually help to determine or subject you to the storage limit for the different size, and whether you have oversized inventory or clothing or footwear item, etc. All right, these are the key factors that influence your IPI score, the inventory performance index score. So it will be things like your excess inventory, your FBA sell-through rate, your stranded inventory percentage, and your FBA in-stock rate. All right, and these are the ways that you can improve your score. By reducing your excess inventory, you can actually increase your profit as well. So you will also increase your sell-through rate and maintain an healthy inventory level. Fix your stranded inventory and ensure your inventory is viable. And ensure that your top selling items are in stock. All right, all this will improve your IPI score and in turn, have an impact on your storage limit as well. So another policy is regarding the restock limit. Now again, this is something you can view on your inventory page as well on Seller Central. All right. So actually they will calculate for you. You don't really have to do your own calculation. They will tell you what is your restock limit. Right. This is set based on your storage type, based on your past and forecasted sales. All right. Let me just zoom in a bit. All right, this is other dashboard. So again, if you have any excess inventory, they will also show up on your inventory performance dashboards. Okay. So what can you do, right? So over here, there's what we call a workflow for you to take a look, right? So there are some ways you can do if you have some of the inventory left. All right. So these are the things that you could do. So for example, if you have sellable inventory, meaning that they are the excess inventory or out of season inventory or age inventory, you can run promotions, right, such as using coupon, prime exclusive discount, etc., or even Amazon outlet deals. Now the idea is to promote all your leftover inventory so that you don't incur any additional charges for storage. All right. So there are also cases where you will have inventory that you can't sell anymore. For example, return item they are defective or damaged during transition, during shipping. All right. And there are some other cases here. All right. So these items that cannot be resell or repackaged or refurbished, right, will be put into what we call the FBA grade and resell, right, to determine whether or not can they still be resold. All right, so let's say if all these items still can't be sold, it'll be put into what we call the FBA liquidations. All right, and then for inventory that also can't be liquidated, it will be under the FBA donation programs. So finally, until even for donation program is not in the acceptable form, meaning that those items can't be donated due to regulated item, etc., it will finally be disposed to either be recycled or become a landfill. Yeah. All right. So over here, I want to share like outlet deals. So what is outlet deals? You can run outlet deals to clear your excess inventory. So there are limited time promotional offer on the outlet deal page. There's a dedicated page for outlet deals. So that's something that you can consider. Similarly for outlet sales as well. All right. So this is what FBA liquidations mean. All right. So we do have some suggestions during the peak season. So the recent big sale will be Prime Day. So I think the next upcoming one should be Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So this is something that you could take into consideration. All right, check your restock limit, ensure you have sufficient storage capacity. Let's say you're going to plan for your peak season, you want to be sure that you have enough capacity to ship in your products be in time for the peak season. All right. So these are the different tips that you can make use of. I think most of these points are actually shared earlier on already. All right, manage your inventory health, etc. Remember to join the FBA New Selection Program to take advantage of the discount that's available for you. Right. So one important thing is also make sure to pay attention to cutoff time. So for example, to give you an example for Prime Day that is recently over, we do have like a cutoff time for the FBA inbound shipment. The cutoff that time was about 15 June. Yep. So you will need to be very aware of the cutoff time so that you can plan your shipment in advance. So the shipping usually take 2 to 3 months, depending on what type of shipment mode that you are using to ship your products. So do factor in the cutoff time if you are going to plan to run your promotion or have those products being during the peak seasons. All right, these are some of the considerations that you could have. Let's say if you are shipping to US, the different form of shipment type and the transit method, right? And how many days is typically going to take for you to reach the fulfillment center in US, but it is best to always factor in an extra 1 to 2 weeks more, because usually during the peak seasons, there may be even more, logistical shipping going on, so there may be some delays that we wouldn't know, and also some other unforeseen factors. So do plan in a lot more time when doing your shipping. Yep, these are the tips I was sharing earlier on. So arrange your transit ahead of time, right? If you have your carrier, do make an appointment for them or with them to plan your shipping, right? Book your schedule in advance, etc. And then also try to use a logistic company that is familiar with the FBA inbounding process. All right. And then if whenever you can use a faster transit method such as express delivery. Now, of course, the faster transit method will also mean the cost will be slightly more than the normal transit method as well. And you can determine whether you want to do it by air or by sea. All right. And lastly, there is this Amazon Global Logistic that you can also consider using it to do your first mile delivery. That is in if you are shipping from your supplier, let's say if you're shipping from China to US, that is something you can consider. So I'll share the link as well because there's only there's a couple of countries that the AGL supported. So you can take a look. Okay. Yep. So if you need more information, let's say if you want to read, if you're somebody who prefers to read up, you can go to Seller University. That's where you can find more information. And then over here, there is also, they also help you keep track of your progress on Seller University as well. So these are the links I will share in the video description. Everything that I shared about will be shared on the video description on the YouTube. So you can go over there and click. You don't have to remember or come back here. I will share on the video description. So I'm going to head on to the frequent FAQ questions before I go into the live Q&A, right? So the frequent question that I'm being asked is for FBA, right? Is there a minimum weight or quantity required? So the answer is there's no minimum, but there is usually a max. All right, usually more than 30 kg per product is not recommended due to the shipping fee and storage size. All right, so it will be a little bit more costly if your item is the bigger size item, etc. So it's really not recommended if your product is more than 30 kg. So again, we have this FBA Small and Light program for shipping smaller products? All right. So the next question I always hear is that if we send using FBA, is there any chance product is returned again, and what is the reason for it? So the answer, it depends on what kind of return. Is it a customer return, or whether is it shipment is rejected? All right. If it's about shipment rejection, so meaning that your ship product to the Amazon fulfillment center, you need to file a removal order on where the ship item to return to. Meaning that somehow, for some reason, your product that is shipped to the Amazon fulfillment was rejected, then you need to file a removal order to to ship those rejected items to somewhere that you want it to ship to. All right. So if international return, you need to engage your own shipping provider that Amazon can ship to. Let's say if you want it to ship to your other non-US address, you need to engage your own shipping provider. So for customer return, is easy. It's actually handled by Amazon. If you're using FBA, any customer return will be handled by Amazon. So the next common question is, can we ship to FBA fulfillment center in Singapore, and does FBA SG ship to FBA USA for customer if our listing is on Amazon.com? So the answer is no. To ship or to sell to customer buying on the Amazon.com, you will need to ship to the fulfillment center in the US. All right, but if you are planning to sell internationally, you can, you can use the what we call the FBA export program to sell to other country internationally, but you will still need to store your inventory in the US fulfillment center. All right. So of course, if you are already having a seller account in SG, then you will need to ship your inventory to the SG fulfillment center if you are selling just to the SG. All right, but do know that it's a different how should I put it? It's a different account. It's the SG account, and the selling to the .com account is different. So make sure you don't confuse it when you are trying to create your shipment. So I got the questions from the registrant for today. So these are the questions from some of you here. So one of the questions is, you're asking, is there a minimum quantity per SKU that you have to sell? And how do you ship the product from Philippines to USA? So again, I think it was mentioned in a few FAQ before, there's no minimum quantity per SKU that you need to sell in order to use FBA. So of course, minimally it's like, to have sale, you need to at least sell one, right? So I think in that sense, there's no minimum quantity you need to sell per SKU. So to ship from Philippines to USA, you can, first of all, you got to send your inventory to Amazon. You have to first create your shipping plan on the Seller Central, pack your product and send them to the fulfillment center. All right. And then once the product reaches fulfillment center and scanned by the Amazon associate, it will be available for sale within 3 business days. All right, I will share with you the link as well over here. All right. So regarding which carrier or logistic provider, you might need to do your own research and source your own carrier or logistic provider. Alternatively, what I understand is you can also ask if your manufacturer or your supplier, some of them do provide such service, like providing services to ship to Amazon US fulfillment center with an additional fee. So that is something you can check with them. Do they provide such services? And then if you are shipping from, let's say if you're sourcing from China, you can also use this Amazon Global Logistics Service over here. So China is one of the countries. There's other few countries. You can go on and take a look which are the countries that they can ship from to the Amazon US fulfillment center. So one thing I want to highlight is, whichever method you want to use, right? Remember, you've got to do your diligence to find out the different shipment terms and what are the different charges. All right. Next question I got from you is, can you guide me how this thing work and how I can start selling things here? So I believe you mean like how, the whole process of setting up your listing, etc., how to get it So there is a guide to guide new seller from start within 90 days, how you can launch your Amazon store from scratch in 90 days. Right, you can go to this link. I will share the link as well, so you can have a good read on so-called a guide, proper guide to guide you through what you need to do for the first 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days in order to launch your stores. All right, so I'm going to look at the Q&A now. If you have questions, please feel free to put it in. Okay, before that, okay, let me see. Okay, first question I have, what are the common mistakes beginners in Amazon FBA make? So I would say mostly I see is that the common mistake will be more on the I would say during the creating the shipment, and also in terms of the labeling. So it wasn't labeled properly, and it wasn't packaged correctly, and also the address that was not correctly provided, etc. So when you create your shipment plan, you will be designated a fulfillment center. So you need to make sure that you use the address there, because the address may not always be the same. There are a couple of fulfillment center in the US, so you got to make sure that it is the right address that is being designated to you. So do not assume that, oh, usually you get this address, you will always get the same address. So it may not be. So it will change depending on whether or not there's availability, there's storage space in the fulfillment center. All right. And also the next comment is more like the whether or not the products are packaged correctly, such a way that it's easy for the for the Amazon associate to scan your product, whether do you label your product correctly. All right, so those guides are available as well on the packaging requirements, so you can take a look in the link too. All right, next question I get is, what are good ideas for products to sell on Amazon FBA? Are there any tools that can help increase chances of success? I would say that the idea is really depending on I would say, what do you think based on your product selection, your research. So there is a tool for all the professional selling account. There's a tool what we call the Opportunity Explorer tool. So over there you can search for the product, and then you can look at the reviews, etc., to understand, whether or not the product can be improved further based on your understanding, and whether your supplier can do that, and then whether there is a demand for those products. All right. So I would say everybody will have different idea based on their experiences. So there is something you can use. So later, if I have time, I can share the product Opportunity Explorer as well. All right. So can we sell digital product on Amazon as well? So this question, if I remember correctly, it may not be open up for third-party seller yet, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So far, I do see digital product, but it's mainly for those what we call the vendors, not so much for third-party sellers. So, yep. All right. So the other question is, what is inventory performance index? So, yep. I think I shared this in a couple of slides before. So the index is a kind of scoring. So based on your inventory performance, it will give you a scoring. So you have to maintain certain scoring in order not to get your storage limit reduced. Yep. Okay. So let me see. I got another question is, how to ship the items or inventory from Philippines? Yep. I think this is one of the question that was addressed in the question that I got from you. Thank you very much. All right. Another question I get is, hello, does Amazon check the inventory when it arrives at fulfillment center if it is damaged, etc.? What if the items are enclosed inside layer of packaging already, like branded box? Yeah, so this is what I was referring earlier on as well, like what are the common mistakes, which is usually the packaging. If it's not packaged correctly, like if it's how should I put it? If your barcode or something is being covered by another layer, then that will have some issues, meaning that you won't be able to actually scan your product. And to the Amazon perspective, they won't be able to tell which item is it, since there's no way for them to differentiate. The only way for them to differentiate is really through the barcode, to the label, that was created during your shipment plan. So that's how they check in those products. So if the label is not labeled correctly, etc., you might have some issue with that. All right. Let me see. Another question is, if it's damaged. So actually, the part about whether they check if it's damaged, etc. So I would say that if it's a very obvious, kind of damage, like when the thing arrive in a very bad form, I think they can tell. So that is something really depends whether is it damaged by Amazon or is it damaged during the transitions to the fulfillment center. Yeah. So for very specific things, like if your item is put into the box, right, they won't be able to tell whether or not it's damaged. Yeah. Yeah, but if it's like a whole bulk of inventory, whether it's damaged or not, they will be able to tell. And then if it's damaged item, they won't be able to check in. Yep. So you also get informed, notified as well. All right. Thank you. Let me see. Did I miss out any questions? Okay. Yes. When will replay of this be uploaded on our YouTube channel? So this usually it will be uploaded by end of this week, but I will do my best to upload as soon as possible before maybe by tonight or tomorrow morning. Yep. Let me see. Will we get a copy of this presentation in PDF form so we can read again and review? Unfortunately, I won't be able to share it in PDF. We will only be able to share in the recording. So do check out the recording. So, yep. But if you need a pure PDF form, actually all this information it's available in Seller University in the different section, but it's in a read up form. So meaning it will be in a PDF, in a document format if that is something you need. So I also share those links in the video description as well. When is your next introduction seminar? All right, so for FBA section, right, usually we have one each month regarding FBA introduction. So there will be another one in August. I have not yet confirmed the date, but what you see right now in the screen is only for the upcoming July sessions that we have. So the one in August will be up soon. Yep. All right. I don't see any more questions, but I will still be here. If you have more questions, feel free to put it in here into the Q&A box and I'll be able to address it. Okay. Thank you everyone for your participation. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Estelle. Thank you, Rolando. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So I'll be still here for a couple of minutes. So if you still have any questions, feel free to let me know. I will help to address it if I can. Right. If not, then I will end soon. And thank you everyone for your precious timing. I will see you at the next live webinar. All right, I saw another questions. Let me see. The question is from Carlos. Can we promote our Amazon listing or store through our brand's social media? Oh, yes, definitely. There's no restriction. In fact, you can use, you can promote your brand store link, etc., listing on your social media or even on your website, etc., on all forms of communication. This is really up to the seller to promote their stores. So there's no problem with that. Yeah. All right. So the next question is, may I know your YouTube account where we can watch this video? Yes, no problem. So it is actually on the second QR code, but you don't have to remember on the follow-up email, the link is also in that email. So don't worry. So in the even in your registration email is already there. So you can check it out. So the link to the viewing of the past recording is already in the registration email as well as the follow-up email. So over there, you'll be directed to the playlist, and in the playlist, you can click on the YouTube account directly. All right, and then please do subscribe if you have not subscribed yet, so that because when I release any new video, such as the one today, I will click it to make it announced such that the subscriber will actually be notified if I'm not wrong, or they will appear in their next video list. So if you have not subscribed, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, I have another question regarding from Carlos regarding the brands. Okay, let me see. You mentioned that brands can be enrolled. If the brand is registered in PH Philippines, can Amazon help us to register it in US? Okay, so to register in US, Amazon do not help any seller register their brands or trademark in a particular country, but they can, or rather seller yourself, you can engage provider. So there is what we call a IP accelerator program where you can engage the provider there to help you. Of course, there will be a fee involved that is to be discussed between you and the provider. Then they will be able to help you do all the necessary, trademark registration, etc. on the US. All right. So once that is done, right, you can do your own, what we call own brand registry via Amazon website yourself. But the process of getting the trademark, etc., that is something you need to engage a provider, third party that can provide that service. So Amazon do not help to do any registration of the trademark, etc. Yeah. But for brand registry, there is an Amazon service or Amazon brand registry. That is something seller can enroll the brand yourself. So once you have a trademark done up, you just go into the Amazon brand registry account, click and then provide your trademark numbers, etc. Which trademark office you registered with, what is the application or trademark number, you just put it there. Then the system will be able to verify it at the back end. I hope that helps. All right, thank you. Thank you, Rolando. Thank you everyone for your time and participation. So I will still be here, don't worry. If you still think of any more questions, feel free to ask me. Yep. So meanwhile, if I've not shared yet, we do have another session which is about the account health. So it's a very special lunchtime timing. So we heard your feedback that maybe some timing is not very convenient. So you might want to gather your friends, your team, etc., to sit in during the lunchtime session so that we can all have a quick session about account health. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you very much. So again, all the links, I will share it on the YouTube description, the video description on the YouTube playlist, all the links that I've shared in the slide, etc. So you don't have to remember the link. I know the link is pretty long, so don't worry, you just need to go to the YouTube description. And while you're reviewing the playback, you can just scroll down and look at the links and then just click on it and it will direct you to the link. Yeah. All right, everyone, thanks for spending the afternoon time with me. I really appreciate everyone. So once again, thank you for your active participation. My name is Chin Liang, and I will see you at the next webinar. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye. Thank you.